Holy cow. Holy cow. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Giggity, real name is Mark. In today's video, we're going to be ranking all 30 Call of Duty Advanced Warfare multiplayer maps from worst to best. The reason why I was saying holy cow is because last video I was saying thank you to all 7, or maybe it was 11, actually, I think it was 11. 11 of my subscribers. That was 2 days ago. Today, I have to say thank you to all 35 of my subscribers. I don't know what happened within those 2 days. I don't know if the earth shifted and the freaking stars aligned and you guys just happened to, you know, maybe I'm dying or something and this was my Make-A-Wish and I forgot about the Make-A-Wish and like so people are going to subscribe to it. I don't know what's going on, but thank you so much. This channel is growing at a rapid rate. It's unbelievable. So thank you guys all throughout the thank you. Okay, thank you. This is part 11, I believe, to our multi-part series where we're ranking every multiplayer map in every Call of Duty game. We started with Black Ops 6, that was episode 1, then Black Ops 2, then COD Ghosts, then we did Modern Warfare 3 2023, then we did Black Ops 4, and then we did Vanguard, and then after Vanguard we did Infinite Warfare, and then we did World at War, and last we just did COD Modern Warfare Remastered, COD 4 and Modern Warfare Remastered, kind of both of them at the same time. And now, so today is actually episode number 10, so my bad. And it is Advanced Warfare maps. The reason why we're doing Advanced Warfare is because I did not really play much of this game, but I did go back and play against bots just to refresh my memory on some of the maps. But I will be 100% honest, like fully transparent here. Some of these DLC maps, it was my very first time ever even playing them, and it was against bots. So please take everything I say here with a grain of salt, even if I did play them a lot, like I did like other CODs. I'm a very casual player anyways, so do not think that this is like a competitive opinion, like it's like, oh, this is like the best map because it has the best lanes and the best B site, like no, it's just like which ones I enjoyed playing. I'm mainly basing it off of just like vibes, if I'm being honest, and how they play, because I'm not like the, you know, smartest guy when it comes to that stuff, so just keep that in mind, please, is all I'm trying to get at. I really that's the reason why I'm doing Advanced Warfare now, is I just want to get it out of the way because I know it's not going to be the most accurate representation of like this map ranking video. If I played this game more in its prime and stuff like that and just had more time on the DLC maps, I'm sure the rankings could be swapped around, and I'm sure they would be actually. Song of the day though is called Burn 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 by Zach Bryan. It is a country song, so if you don't like country music, don't listen to it. But honestly, if you ever thought about like the country music and was like, maybe I'll give it a try, this is definitely a good one to start, because I was just like you, I never really cared too much about country music, but I wasn't like, I didn't hate it like other people did. I always thought that was like they were doing too much when people were like hating country music. I was always like, come on, man. And then this Zach Bryan guy, he put me on. It's a good song. But without further ado, let's go right into it. We are splitting it up into 6 tiers, by the way: the awful tier, bad tier, average tier, good tier, amazing tier, and the best tier. So let's start out with number 30, my least favorite map in the game, and obviously the first one for the awful tier. Jesus, I just looked at the time of that clip. I am so sorry for wasting 3 whole minutes of your time for just the intro of this video. I'm horrible at rambling, man. I'm awful. I overthink things so much. It's a bad trait. I apologize. But either way, 30th place is Ascend. There's just nothing about Ascend that really sticks with me, you know? I just feel like Ascend is so massively forgettable. And again, I didn't play too much Advanced Warfare, but I still remembered a good amount of these maps, and Ascend is not one that I remembered. And it is a base game map, you know, like it's not a DLC map, but I still forgot it. It's just that forgettable. Coming in at the number 29 spot is a DLC map. For some reason, I remember playing this map. So maybe I did play like one of the DLC, because there are some DLC maps in this game where I do remember them. So maybe I did play like some of the DLC, like one DLC or something, because I remember this map. It is a DLC map. It's called Drift. It's a it's like a snowy cabin resort thing, maybe like a ski resort style map, which design choice, that's pretty cool, you know. I'll give it that. It's a cute little, like, comfy, cozy little map, but I'm shooting people, you know. I don't need it to be comfy and cozy. I need it to be raw and cool, and it doesn't really fit that. On top of that, it didn't play well against bots when I went back and played. Coming in at the number 28 spot is going to a map called Climate. This is one that I do not remember at all. It is like a weird sort of, I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's almost like an amusement park vibe. Like it has all these, like maybe like a zoo, maybe like an exhibit or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it, because it has like these random things going on, like all over the walls. Like it has like these like posters and stuff. But then it's just like a random like map. I don't really understand what it's supposed to be. It kind of reminds me of like Jurassic Park slightly. I don't know. I have no idea what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't. I don't like that. I find it was, the word I was looking for was not exhibit, by the way. Back then it was expo. I knew I had a word. I was like, what was that word I was thinking of? I looked it up. It's expo. Expo was the word. That's what the map freaking Climate reminds me of. But anyway, 27th place is Kremlin. Kremlin I don't know the first thing about this map. Okay, I've never played it besides against the bots, and I did not enjoy it at all against bots. It is in the awful tier for a freaking reason. I feel like Advanced Warfare's map designs make no sense the majority of the time. Like, what is this map supposed to be? It's like a random large wall. Kind of reminds me of like the Great Wall of Berlin or something. But it has so many wide open angles. As a matter of fact, in the background footage, I'm pretty sure. As a matter of fact, the background footage that I just get my background footage from YouTube, by the way, because I can't record my own gameplay. I don't have the stuff for that. But the background footage in the video, you can even see that this guy is like, most of his gunfights are like from very long ranges, and I don't like maps like that. Coming in at the number 26 spot is going to a map called Overload. This map I do remember slightly. So again, I'm pretty sure it's a DLC map though. I don't think it's a base game map. So again, maybe this is one of the maps that I played in the DLC. But yeah, it just doesn't really, again, it's another map. Most of the maps in this awful tier just don't have their own like identity. They're just like these random, weirdly paced designed maps, and like that's another problem with Advanced Warfare is some of these maps don't have like the typical 3-lane highway style thing that most COD maps do, and this is one of those. It just has so many different random lanes and random like spots to go and stuff like that, and I didn't really vibe with it. Coming in at the number 25 spot is a cool name for a map. When I was doing my research, getting all the maps, and I saw it in the Advanced Warfare map selection thing, I was like, oh, this is probably gonna be really cool. It's Chop Shop. You know, that's a pretty cool name. But then you play it, and it's not what you think. It's like obviously a futuristic version of a Chop Shop. It has like spaceship parts instead of like motorcycle parts, like a cool guy's chop shop would be. It does have that gritty atmosphere, you know, of like there's like rust on the buildings and fungi, and there's probably like if you walk down the wrong alleyway you might step on a needle type of thing, and like that's cool, you know. They got the design there right, but again, I just don't think the layout of the map plays too well. However, coming in at 24th place in the final one for the awful tier, before we move along into the bad tier, this is probably the biggest awful tier of any of the COD multiplayer games so far, because this map does not have that many good maps. It is Parliament. Parliament is based, it's like set on like a aircraft carrier, I want to say, like some sort of like, maybe like shipping docks or something like that. It is a DLC map, so I'm sorry, but I don't know too much about it. But it didn't play as bad as some of the other ones, that's why I'm putting it a little bit higher. I do think it's better than those ones, but I do, again, still think it's slightly too large. I think that a lot of the DLC maps in this game did feel that way. They just felt like there was too many really wide open gunfight areas, and I just don't really care for when maps have stuff like that. I mean, obviously it makes sense when there's like a part of the map that's like that. It's not like Shoot House, you know. Shoot House was perfect because it had parts that were long range, but it also had close range parts. This map, I don't know. Coming in at 23rd place in the first one for the bad tier, and maps in this tier are just they're bad, but they're not as bad as the other ones. It's Urban. It's just an urban city setting and stuff like that. But again, I just don't think like there are some maps, don't get me wrong, we're gonna get into ones in the future, don't worry, I'm not gonna just sound like a broken record this whole video, but this is another one of those maps where I feel like it's just kind of a boring setting, man. Like, does the map play better than the awful tier maps? Absolutely, and that's the reason why I'm putting it in the bad tier and it doesn't belong in the awful tier, but I do think it just needed a better design choice. And coming in at 22nd is kind of the same exact thing. Like, I do think Swarm, which is 22nd place, plays well. Like, it didn't play that bad. It's a DLC map, so, you know, don't get me wrong. I don't know too much about it. Maybe I'm horribly wrong and it's just like the most camper heavy map in the game, but it played fine against bots. It was a okay map, but the design is, again, it's just another random city. The good thing about Swarm is it is like some Asian city. I'm sorry, I don't know what Asian city it is. Maybe it's China, Korea, Japan, I don't know, but it's some Asian city, and so that's, you know, it's got its own little identity there, and it does have brighter like colors and stuff than like Urban does, which is cool, and I give it that, and that's, you know, that's why I'm putting it a spot higher than Urban. But again, it's just kind of a boring setting. Coming in at 21st place is finally a map with its own like unique sort of identity, Fracture. Fracture is a snow map, but it's just a facility. Like, come on, Advanced Warfare, why can't you make like a snow map that's something like cool, you know? Like, actually, as a matter of fact, Black Ops 4 had that one map. I can't remember it. I literally just ranked it a couple weeks ago. But that Black Ops 4 snow map, Icebreaker, that's what it was, because there was the ice-breaking ship there in it. That was a cool setting, you know? But this map is just another like random facility with like some random work going around on it. But it's snowy, so that's cool, you know. Like, the snow aspect is pretty sick, and on top of that, it's not like a dark snow map, which for some reason Call of Duty loves to make every one of their snow maps always dark, and this is like a brightly lit one, so it's cool. I like it. It's just, I do wish it had a better layout than just a freaking facility. However, coming in at 20th place in the final one for the bad tier, before we move along into the average tier, is Atlas Gorge. Atlas Gorge is Pipeline from COD 4 Modern Warfare. pretty much remastered for Advanced Warfare. But they kind of took away the whole like unique, cool identity of Pipeline and made it another just random like, oh hey, here's an Atlas facility style map. I'm sorry, that just not it, man. Not it. Call of Duty. Why do you have to do that? Why couldn't you make this like cool? I get that, you know, it's literally a pipeline. I like the big dam in the back. I think the big dam in the back is kind of cool. And Pipeline plays well on Modern Warfare, but I don't think it plays as good with the jetpacks. But it's still, you know, at least it's Pipeline. It's a good designed map. But I just think the setting again, man, make it better. But now we are into the average tier. So maps in this tier, most of them they play better, but at least they don't play that much better, I should say, actually, from the bad tier. But at least they have like cool designs. And 19th place is a perfect example of that. It's Retreat. Retreat is a nice map. It has, you know, foliage on it. It's got like plants and stuff like that. It's a, you know, it's a random retreat in the middle of the woods. It's a nice looking area. It's a base game map, so I actually do remember playing this map a lot, and it played okay as well. I do think it's one of the bigger, more weaker base game maps for sure. That's why it's here in the average tier, but it's at least it's got its own identity. And coming in at 18th place is another one that fits that criteria perfectly. Quarantine has its own identity. Now I will say, in terms of the actual like buildings and stuff like that, well, what are you fighting in? Spoiler alert, they're kind of just facilities, but the facilities are actually kind of cool facilities because they're quarantine facilities. That are, you know, there's like dead bodies that were obviously had like some sort of infection and stuff like that. The map has like, you know, foliage on it again, and it has like, it's got like a more desert vibe than foliage, I would say, but it's at least something, you know. It's not just some random boring old city that has like random buildings you can go in. It has its own unique little thing going on there, and I respect it for that. It didn't play that well against bots, so that's kind of why it's in the average tier, but I do like the vibes of it. Coming in at 17th place is going to Compound. It's okay. That's the best way I can put it. Compound is okay. It's the reason why I'm putting it significantly higher than realistically it deserves, because spoiler alert, this is a freaking facility map. But the reason why I'm putting it a little bit higher than most of the other facility maps is it's a lot smaller, and I do kind of like the smaller maps, and so it seemed like, you know, non-stop action and stuff like that, and that's why I like it. Design choice, it's super boring yet again. It's just another random compound, and it doesn't really feel that special at all, but the gameplay of it is pretty good. Coming in at 16th place is super unique, and that's kind of the only reason why I got here, because if I'm being honest, it played horribly against bots, and I can't imagine it plays too much better against real people. It's Perplex. Perplex is a map where it's like pretty much the entire map is verticality. Like every part of the map is like there's like 5 floors. You can get on the roof, then there's 4 floors below that, and then there's obviously the ground floor, but it's like these 2 like slum style buildings, like Hong Kong style buildings, and it's like a modernized version of them. It's like a nicer version, I guess, and it actually is a really, really cool design, and it plays completely different from like a lot of other Call of Duty maps, if I'm being honest, that's obviously really cool, but I do think it played horribly against bots, and like I said, I can only imagine how bad it would be against real people that actually know how to use the verticality to their advantage. Coming in at 15th place is finally a base game map that I actually can like talk about from the base game. Comeback was okay back in the day. I do remember Comeback having a very like sniper friendly positions on it a lot of the time. There was a lot of points where you can get like bird's eye views on players, and it was a little bit larger with like kind of random lanes. Like it did have the 3-lane design, but there was so many random lanes within those 3 lanes that I don't really remember enjoying Comeback too much. However, I will say it is I like the base game maps a lot better, because I can at least remember like what they were and stuff like that, and Comeback, it was okay. However, coming in at 14th place in the final one for the average tier before we move along into the good tier is Core. Core is really, really cool in terms of its design choices, man. It's like a desert map, and normally in like when my Infinite Warfare video, if you haven't watched that already, most of the desert maps get ranked pretty low because I always think they're kind of boring. But in a game like Advanced Warfare, where literally 90% of the maps are just facilities, this is cool. You know, it's different. On top of that, it actually does kind of play really well against bots, in my opinion. It was a fun map to play, man. Like it was a pretty, I don't even think it was that small, but for some reason it felt small. It was a good map, and it's not like super verticality oriented too, which is good. All right, but now we are into the good tier. So maps in this tier are just good, man. They're fun to play on. I enjoyed them when I played them in the base game, but back when I played it back in the day, and I enjoyed it when I went back. And 13th place is Horizon. Horizon is just like kind of like, I guess, an airport hangar, but it holds one single plane for some reason. That's probably the most inefficient air hangar of all time, but it's cool because the middle area is obviously where most players just flock to, and when they get there, they all flight on top of the airplane and stuff like that, and it's honestly a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. The map is definitely too large, but at least, you know, there has like that point of interest in the middle that most players just kind of end up funneling themselves towards anyways. Coming in at 12th place is going to another base game map. Spoiler alert, but most of the base game maps are going to be up here because I do like the base game maps. I remember them. But also, even going back and playing them, man, I don't know if this is just me, but most of the base game maps just felt more fun anyways. It's Defender. Defender is a really cool design. It's like this, it's one of the most unique COD maps of all time, in my opinion. It's like this old, broken down facility, which I guess that's kind of boring, but it's like the design choices is like all this like stuff is growing over it. Some of the buildings are like caved in on themselves, some of them have like graffiti all over them and stuff like that, and it's actually a really cool design map. The only downside to Defender, and the reason why it's not like higher, is it is way too big though. I do think it's a really large map, and since there is so many different little facility buildings that you can go into, there's a lot of rat places. Coming in at 11th place, also, before I get into this, I don't know if I mentioned this in the intro because I can't remember, but if you guys hear Dark Souls 1 music in the background, I was playing Dark Souls 1 before making this video, and I was like, wait a minute, that might make some good background noise, so I didn't turn it off, and so that's the reason why you're hearing it. But either way, 11th place is Recovery. Recovery, it's another, first of all, it's another base game map, but it's okay. I don't really have any downsides to Recovery. I think it's a really good size. I just think the middle lane is just like not fun. I really don't like the middle lane of Recovery. And on top of that, Recovery, I will say, is kind of like in terms of the other maps in this game, a pretty boring setting. It's better than the facility maps, obviously, but it is also kind of a facility itself. So that's its only downside. And coming in at 10th place is a really fun map. It's Green Band. Green Band is just overall super fun. And I actually do really like the design choice here too. It's obviously futuristic and stuff, but it's like this, like, you're like kind of like fighting on top of like a nice hotel building. It has like this like grass turf on it and stuff like that. But I do think the only downside to Green Band is it's too long, man. This map's entire thing is that it's like a big, large rectangle pretty much. You're like fighting down these 3 different corridors that are mostly long ranges, but you can like jump over them and stuff like that and get obviously verticality on players and stuff, which is cool. I like that idea, but I do think they just needed to like shrink the spawns just a little bit. However, coming in at 9th place in the final one for the good tier before we move along into the amazing tier is a map I never played before, but playing it against bots was really fun. Site 244. Site 244 is a really cool design map. It has all these different colors on it. It's got all this cool stuff going on. And then on top of that, like the outskirts of the map is like actually like a nice forest setting, and it's cool. I don't know if you would count it as a facility or something, but it's definitely some sort of building, but the building's like burning and stuff like that. It's been like destroyed, and so like it's like a crash, actually. I think it's a site. It's a crash site, I'm assuming. So yeah, it's probably what it is. But it plays freaking awesomely too. I just really overall enjoyed Site 244, but I didn't want to put it in like the amazing tier because obviously I didn't play it in its prime. Coming in at 8th place in the first one for the amazing tier, which by the way, amazing maps are like just maps that are really fun. Some of these maps I really think deserve some sort of like remaster. And 8th place is Biolab. Biolab is like, in my opinion, you know how like every COD has that one map where it's like that's the map you immediately think of when you think of that Call of Duty? Biolab is that map for me. For some reason, I don't know why, but I always just think of Biolab. It is relatively boring in terms of its design. It's just it's a biolab, you know, it's literally just a lab, but it plays really well, and it's one of, in my opinion, the best maps in this game that utilizes the exosuits. I really think Biolab uses the exosuits to their fullest potential, and it's really good. 7th place is a map that does not use its exosuits to the fullest potential, Skyrise. Skyrise is just a remastered version of High Rise from Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2's High Rise is an incredible map, one of the best maps ever made. Everybody loves it. It's a fan favorite, right? Yeah, but not with exosuits, because there's no real point in using the exosuits. There's no real like parts of the map that you can really get up higher or anything like that and like get some vantage points on them, which makes sense because it's just High Rise, you know. And since it is High Rise, that's kind of the reason why it's in the amazing tier, because it still plays like High Rise, and High Rise is a super great map. But I do think that it kind of doesn't really make much sense, I think, in the grand scheme of like Advanced Warfare, because again, it just doesn't fit the exosuit movement too well. Coming in at 6th place though is, in my opinion, one of like just like the most like recognizable Advanced Warfare maps, I would say, Riot. The fact that Riot hasn't been remastered yet is absolutely mind-blowing to me. It's an incredibly designed map. It's just one of the smaller maps for sure, and it's set in a prison. You know, you're set in like a prison break, which is a cool setting as well. It just overall has a really good vibe for it. It has a really good size for it and everything like that. It's a fun map. The only downside to Riot is it's really easy to spawn trap people in Riot, and that always frustrated me. Coming in at 5th place is one of the coolest design choices in Advanced Warfare for sure. It's Instinct. Instinct is like this, Instinct. I don't know why I was saying it instinct. It's instinct. I don't know why I was saying it that way, but it's like this weird, like, dilapidated, crappy old temple with like that, like, people are like doing research at now or something like that. So it does have those stupid, you know, Atlas facility parts to it for sure, but it's not the entire map, which is much better than the vast majority of maps in this game. It is a base game map, and it's definitely a little large for sure. I'll give it that, you know. But this is like the map that I remember so many like people would hit like trick shots on, and you could just get like, if you were a sniper, you could hit some nice clips, but you could kind of play as almost everybody. But it actually, like, that's a big downside with these advanced movement CODs. It's like sniping in them is so hard because people can just be anywhere they want to be, and this is one of the maps where it like kind of pandered towards the snipers a little bit more and made it fun for them. However, coming in at 4th place and the final one for the amazing tier before we move along into the best tier is Sideshow. This is a DLC map, but for some reason I remember playing this map a pretty good amount. I don't know why, but I remember this map a lot. It's literally just like a motel, like sideshow style, like circus area. It's a super small map, and it just plays really, really well. There's no real like 3-lane idea or anything like that. It's not like, it's competitive wise, I'm sure the competitive players are probably going to disagree with me on Sideshow being up this high, but I like it a lot. I like the design choice. I think it's a really cool, unique design choice. It's not stupidly like annoying, just freaking facilities. It's like actual like classic buildings and stuff like that, and it's just a fun map, man. I like it. But now we are into the best tier. There's only 3 maps in this tier, but these 3 maps are actually really, really freaking good maps, man. Like, it's so weird because Advanced Warfare has so many has some pretty good highs, but then it has a lot of lows, and it's really unfortunate. And spoiler alert too, all 3 maps in the best tier are base game maps. I think the base game maps in this game were better. 3rd place is Detroit. Detroit is, I mean, it's iconic, and the fact that they have not remastered Detroit yet is honestly probably a crime against humanity. I feel like if we reported that to the police, Activision would be arrested for that, because it is such a good map. It is just so much fun. It doesn't really, I will say one thing, if you are more of like a sniper or a long range style player, you're kind of shafted on this map. There's not really that many long range, it's mostly close range engagements, but it just plays so well. And the problem with Advanced Warfare maps is there's like so many maps where it's like there's 50 freaking buildings you can go into for some reason, and Detroit isn't like that. There's 2 or 3, and that's pretty much it. And then the rest of the map is the street, and it's good. Coming in at 2nd place though, I would say is like the poster child for Advanced Warfare maps, like the most known Advanced Warfare map. It's Solar, and Solar is known for a good reason. I will say the one downside to Solar is the obvious one that I've been mentioning a lot in this video, the design choice. I think the design choice is really boring on Solar for what the map is, but I can't deny it plays so freaking well. It has the simple 3-lane ways, and it uses the freaking exosuit abilities so well. The middle lane is such a fun lane to go fighting on. It's surprising because it's a lane where it's like you can dominate that lane with any gun. That's so surprising, and the reason why you can do that is because of the exo movement. You can get to different parts of the middle lane with a sniper that gets you like a higher point of view and shooting down on players, which obviously gets you a big benefit. But then you can also go down lower and get to the shotgun. It's actually a super well designed map in my opinion. They need to bring it back. Although I don't think they should bring it back in a boots on the ground COD. If they're going to do another like advanced movement COD, then they should bring it back. But 1st place, and probably a surprise to absolutely nobody, my favorite Call of Duty Advanced Warfare map is Terrace. Terrace is so cool. It reminds me a lot of the map Plaza from Black Ops 2 in terms of its design choices, which is awesome. It's always been a super cool map in the design choice. Here's the thing. Night maps in Call of Duty are either really good or freaking awful, and this is obviously one of the really good ones, because you can either never see the enemies, like in Hacienda Twilight from Black Ops 4, remember that map that you literally couldn't see the enemies at all, or you can still see them, but they use the nighttime to add to the vibe to the map, and that's what they do in Terrace. It's like this really cool like resort that's like clearly like a really expensive like getaway style area. It has all these beautiful bright lights and bright colors on it, and then the map itself plays well too. Like, it's not just a good looking map, it's a fun map to play. It's a perfect size in my opinion. It's like definitely a little bit bigger than I would want it to be. I feel like if they maybe shrunk it just a little bit, then that'd be okay. But overall it's super fun, and again, just like all the other good maps in this game, you can play as any sort of player that you want. You want to be a sniper, you could do that. You want to be close range, you could do that. ARs, LMGs, SMGs, whatever you want to do, you can do it on Terrace and get away with it and have a good game. And it's just a fun design map, and this is one of the maps where I do think it can come back on a boots on the ground Call of Duty and still be fun. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video, ranking all 30 Call of Duty Advanced Warfare multiplayer maps from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos you see in the comment section down below. And yeah, I hope the Dark Souls 1 music in the background wasn't too loud. Let me know if you guys think that it was kind of frustrating. Oh, also, I just want to apologize for anybody that was like clicked on this video expecting it to be like a super educated opinion on these maps. I obviously, like I said before in the intro, I only played this game at the launch, and then I pretty much never came back and played it at DLCs. It's weird because it's like it's definitely not my least played Call of Duty. I've played this game more than I've played Vanguard and probably World War II as well, honestly, and maybe even new Modern Warfare 3. I really didn't play that one too much, but I don't remember. I didn't play any of the DLC. Like, I played it a lot when the game came out, but then I got bored of it really quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I played it for like a month straight, like every day. But then I was like, okay, now I'm not gonna play it anymore. And so it's weird. It's a weird difference there. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. Let me know what other multiplayer maps you'd like to see me rank next. We still have a couple more to go, obviously. We still have, like, World War II, Cold War, the new Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, the original Modern Warfare 3, the original Modern Warfare 2, and then I'm pretty sure that's it, actually. I think that's the rest of the maps, the games right there. Maybe I'm missing one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we're closing in on the end of this here, so I hope you guys are enjoying the series nonetheless. And if you are, like, comment, subscribe, do all that mumbo jumbo. But either way, you don't honestly have to, because I do want to say massive again thank you to all the freaking subscribers, man. 35 subscribers on this channel is mind-blowing. We literally went from like 11 to 35 in 2 days. Like, that's crazy to me. So thank you guys so freaking much. It means the absolute world to me. Yeah, and das vidanya. Have a nice night.